So here's a short story which is a perfect example why you don't get involved with gals who have mental issues. Now, we can all joke they all have mental issues, but in all seriousness here, I'm talking about things like BPD, bipolar, all that type of thing. If you can sense that early on in the dating process, best to part ways and don't get in a relationship, because if you do, it could bring a lot of turmoil into your life. And in this situation here, that's exactly what this guy goes through. And this whole short story is about a whole year worth of updates of a guy who broke up with his gal after finding out that she has major issues. And holy crap, the drama she puts him through. And of course, things he should have done about it. But it makes it's a cautionary tale, guys. It's a little different than the story I cover here, but I need to cover it because I saw it and thought it'd be a good one. Titled, Breaking Up with My Bipolar Girlfriend. And by the way, I think it's more BPD, actually. I can't think of it now, but you know what I mean by that. A long post ahead, I have to express it here as I have no one else to share it with. I have a girlfriend who is diagnosed with bipolar disorder. We have been in a relationship for a couple months. She was treated with her bipolar disorder before, but she stopped her treatment. I try to convince her to go back on the treatment, but we end up arguing. That happens a lot to people that have that, and it is a By the way, I don't know how early on he learned this, but it's not like girls are walking around with name tags saying, "My name is Jessica, and I'm bipolar, or I have these various disorders." That'd be nice and make it easy for you, but once you find out, don't get involved. Now listen to this. While our relationship was on again, off again, its cycle or pattern weekly. In other words, drama, drama, drama. Eventually we decided to end the relationship. But on that day, I was worried because she was talking about ending herself. Well, that's the case, then you should call the police. Or if she sees a shrink, inform the shrink. What I did is I remained friends with her and keeping in contact as support. Smack! No, that's a bad idea, and you're going to see no good deed goes unpunished here. There's a reason you broke up, dude. Now as an update, and this is going to be a series of updates in 1 year making my point. He says, guys, since I agreed to be her friend for support, we are still in communication. She called me through video conference. It was a nightmare. She self-inflicted herself live. I'm literally shaking. I notified her friends and family. Yeah, she's unhinged. Imagine that, you're video call and all of a sudden she does something. I'm not going to say what, but you guys can use your imagination to harm herself. You want to talk about ultimate tactics of manipulation to get you back and get you in her life or keep you in her life. Second update. After she did that, she went to my office where I work, though I was away at the time, and according to my personnel, she was smiling and laughing randomly. She called me several times, 40 to 60 times that day. That's way more than several times, brother. And sent me hundreds of messages of devastating curses, including threats of self-harm if I would not see her. She searched the whole building to find me. I felt immense fear at that time. In the course of our relationship, I did not disclose to her the location of my workplace. Holy crap. Did he just say that she wanted to curses on him, like spells? I would say, honey, there's no covens around here, so you're shit out of luck. Wacko. This goes beyond bipolar. That's why I think it's the other thing, but I can't think of what the hell it's called right now. I'll know at the end when I'm done filming this. Third update. You finally broken up. Well, I thought you were broken up. I immediately notified her friends and family, then blocked her. However, I think I'm traumatized. I would be too, with the curses. It's just random flashes back in my memory, the manipulative act of self-harm that she's done many, many times, especially the live one. And I can still hear the words that she shouted at me, including sounds of cries of the bad episode, rage, that she's having the whole course of the relationship. Every now and then I can hear my phone ringing, even though it's not. Okay, so he's a little messed up over this whole thing, you know. He's got a crazy stalker after him. Sometimes hearing my ringtone and sensing the vibration of the phone's notifications casted immense fear within me. My hands are still shaking, and I have no appetite to eat at the time of updating this post. Well, one thing I forgot to mention, it's been a long day, I've been up since pretty early, is when she was showing up at his workplace and all that, why in God's name was he not calling the police? Why was he not trying to file a restraining order or something like that? Because this girl's dangerous. And again, why hasn't, I guess he notified her family and friends. How about the police about a wellness check on her or protecting his ass? Chick's crazy, and there are crazy people out there. Finally, thank you for the support and suggestions, guys. I took it seriously, each and every one of you who posted the advices, and I appreciate that. Fourth update. He says she visited me at my office again and sent me food. Apparently we talked in a normal manner as if nothing happened. She said she's sorry to me. She handed down a piece of her dairy with attachment. Don't accept food from her, the girl that showed up at your work and was cursing you with spells and shit. How do you know she's not poisoning the freaking food? And why is she allowed to come near you? You're enabling her behavior. And oh yeah, smack. Fifth update. She visited me again at a random location out of nowhere at my workplace and handed down another thing. I stood on my boundaries as I advised her, and I told her I did not appreciate her presence here, and if possible, I should not see her anymore. Immediately thereafter, she inflicted physical harm on me. She punched me very hard. Now she's attacking you. This is why you shouldn't have had anything to do with her after this breakup. This is why you should have called the police. True enough, all she did was she tried to manipulate me, heavy manipulation. It turned into obsession from my point of view. In the ordinary course of things, a normal person would not have done this. All thoughts and advice in this comment were all true. At the timing of writing this post on Reddit, I've been struggling with my own job due to her ex. I might even lose it. Yeah, you might lose your job because of her. Again, dude. The emotions that I experienced as stated on the early updates are still present. I was wondering, how did she knew where my workplace was? Apparently, I checked all the cameras surrounding the building, and she was stalking me most of the time after we broke up. She entered the fire exit of the building, as there is no one literally entering there, and no one will find out that she entered and get on the premises. His writing obviously isn't so good. Well, it's interesting this dude has access to the cameras and everything, but the point is, also, why didn't he let his employer know about this wacko person? And why didn't he also let the cops know? This is what's kind of stupid about this, but he's obviously young and doesn't know what to do. There are crazy, dangerous people out there, guys. This is why you don't get involved with them, and if you find out too late, you got to use all your methods necessary. I think a new pattern will emerge since I broke the old pattern or cycle that she got. I applied the advice of fellow Redditors. I can no longer be controlled or manipulated by her. However, notably, she tries to indirectly manipulate me by saying bad words about me to my friends and family and coworkers, like abuse and reasons for her self-infliction. Even if it's not true, in a way that I can feel guilty and sadness within me or trying to break my spirit down so that I can be manipulated again and give in to her demands. Well, that's what people like this do. It's manipulation all the way. I've been debriefed by my client and psychologist at the time of updating this post. She also cautioned me that she may have issues of borderline personality disorder. That's what I meant to say. That's what I think she has. BPD, since this is more prominent in her part, and I should consider my own safety first. And I did feel helpless. All this could have been avoided if he would have done his homework early on and saw her crazy behavior and broke up with her and called the cops and got a restraining order and all that. Sixth update. He says, guys, it's been a year now. A whole year of this shit. I followed all the advice shared by the fellow Redditors, and I'm truly thankful for the honest guidance. Without it, I'm not sure where I'd be today. I managed to keep my job, so I'm grateful for that. Since the last update, the stalking has continued. Smack! Why aren't you doing something about it, genius? She's been intermittently following me for about 3 months, from my workplace to client meetings, and even when I'm out running errands. There's a point that you just can't reason with stupid. And does this broad have a job? How does she live if she's always stalking him? I noticed through security camera footage around the building, recognizing the car she drove, and at times she even took taxis to follow me. Ever since our breakup, including during those 3 months, I began receiving calls from about 20 different random numbers 3 times a week, which seemed like a new pattern. Over time, that gradually decreased to just 1 or 2 random calls. Well, from that day early on, a year earlier, when she called like 60 times in one day, down to, a couple of weeks, that's not too bad. For the record, I never answered any of these calls, as engaging would only give them attention they're seeking. See? That's why you shouldn't give her so much attention early on. Advice I followed for the Redditors. Regarding my online presence, I've completely disappeared from all social media platforms, except Reddit, where my identity remains securely anonymous. This was a deliberate step to prevent any further stalking or manipulation. I will update this post, whatever happens, considering there may be other persons who are in a similar situation with me, and this might be helpful for them to understand the process. But truth be told, It's like a mental, psychological hazing, and sometimes it will invade your personal safety and privacy. Have I finally escaped the script completely? That question still hangs in the air. Only time holds the answer. So that ends it, and it seems like still she's popping her head up every once in a while. So guys, if there are signs early on of a borderline personality disorder, there I finally said it, or any other crazy things, walk away. Like I said, unfortunately, women aren't walking around with name tags saying, "Hi, my name is Jessica," and I use the name Jessica for a reason, because pretty much every Jessica I met was nuts, and I have BPD or something. But you can see the clues are crazy, and that's when you back away. And they start, going crazy, handle it accordingly. Look at all this. Look at how his life's been. It's been nuts for the last year. He could have lost his job, amongst many other things. You got to handle things accordingly. There are wackos out there, and sadly, things aren't done until it's too late. So anyhow, guys, cautionary tale, don't be like this guy.